Welcome to DeadWood Falls. Named after the great churning falls on the edge of town, it was the kind of place most people drove through without slowing down. A quiet town, one diner, one church, a handful of houses that leaned like tired old men along the cracked streets. It wasn't much, but it was home. A few hundred families lived there, most of the parents commuting to the nearby cities for work. That meant the children of DeadWood Falls were often left to themselves for long hours after school. They would roam in packs, laughing, running, exploring the woods, the lake, the hidden caves near the falls. Every night, they'd come home covered in dirt, bursting with stories of their adventures. For years, the stories were always the same: swimming in the lake, climbing trees, playing tag in the forest. But then, the stories began to change. The children started whispering about someone new. They called him Stringy, the puppet. At first, the parents thought it was just another invention, the kind of imaginary friend that children dream up when they're left on their own too long. But the way the children spoke about him, the way their stories lined up, even from different mouths, made the parents uneasy. According to the children, Stringy was a puppet, not a toy, not a marionette, but alive. They said he was tall and thin, his body covered in tattered cloth, seams splitting to reveal what lay beneath. His arms hung too long, his fingers twitching with threads that seemed to move on their own, stitched with a crooked smile, and his eyes, glass eyes, never blinked. However, the children's description of Stringy would change from time to time, leading many to believe Stringy was capable of changing his physical appearance, weaving the fabrics of his own body to take whatever form he desired. But to the children, Stringy was no monster. They said he was their friend. He liked to play games with them, hide and seek, tag by the water's edge, games that stretched late into the night until they were too tired to stand, and whenever a parent asked too many questions, the children would laugh nervously and say, "Oh, don't worry, Stringy takes care of us," and he was always watching. That's when the disappearances began. One child, then another. At first, people thought they'd wandered too far into the woods, that they'd fallen into the lake or gotten lost in the caves. But search parties found nothing. No footprints, no clothing, no trace at all. Just silence and the sound of rushing water from the falls, and the children who remained stopped talking about Stringy. They grew quiet and afraid. They avoided the woods, and when pressed, their eyes filled with tears. But sometimes, late at night, residents swore they could see a figure at the edge of the forest. Lanky, twitching, strings glistening in the moonlight. Some of the missing children did come back, but they weren't themselves anymore. Their eyes were lifeless, their voices flat, and the little things that made them unique, birthmarks, scars, memories, were gone. Parents, too desperate to lose them again, welcomed them home. But the town whispered that these were not children at all. Many believed Stringy had found a way to hollow them out, replacing them with his own creations, human puppets, bound to his will. They say Stringy is hidden deep beneath DeadWood Falls in the network of coal mines abandoned in the 1940s. Late at night, if you pressed your ear to the ground, you could hear it. Faint echoes rising from the caverns below, children singing, children crying, and the never-ending sound of children's lullabies. They were said to lure the living down into the endless dark, guiding them deeper and deeper until escape was impossible. Rescue teams tried, brave men and women who descended with lanterns and ropes in search of the missing. But fewer and fewer returned. Those who did came back broken, whispering of hallucinations and gaps in memory. Some spoke of wandering through chambers filled with broken toys and crumbling playgrounds, classrooms lit by lanterns that flickered. And in those places, they swore they saw those missing children, disfigured, crawling, their skin missing, their mouth.
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Big bad wolf, big bad wolf.
Thank you guys for watching. Feel free to write your own stories about Stringy the Puppet in the comments. Now I'm gonna go take a massive shit. Till the next story, bye.